Hey guys, this is Matt here, and I'm going to be doing a little mini-series called Unsung Videogames, and that's about it. Just called Unsung Videogames. Gonna try to do about 3 games per part, just to stretch them out and really explain how good they were, and what was special about them, and try to get one from each system per review. Mix it up a little bit. Not too much on one system. So this is part 1. I'm gonna try to make maybe 5 parts, 15 games, not too bad. So let's get started. First, but definitely not the worst, is Eve of Extinction, also known as E.O.E. This game was for PS2, as you see, and it came out in, I believe, 2002. Yes, 2002. Yep. This is an awesome game. I gotta start off by saying this is probably the greatest PS2 game that I've ever played. Most PS2 games that tried the freestyle fighting movement, they worked, but they felt subpar to a lot of the Dynasty Warrior titles, like a rip-off of that. This game went in a whole nother direction. It was absolutely stunning. The graphics, honestly, if you play a game, do you pay attention to graphics and the gameplay is that good? No. The controls are a bit choppy at times, but for an early PlayStation 2 title, I think it fared off pretty well. I'm going to try to explain some of the weapons for you. There was 10 weapons, it says right here in the back. 10 weapons, 7 levels, and 1 chance to save humanity, or seal its fate. And, the classic scheme for video games. But the 10 weapons involved your fists, a fire sword, a lightning rod, a boomerang, a broadsword, a giant axe, a guitar, twin daggers, a tonfa, a crossbow, and a snake sword, I believe. That's all 10. I might be missing one in there somewhere. Oh, a giant axe. There's a giant axe. I might have said that, but I don't know. But there's a giant axe in there somewhere, and a guitar, and I said fire sword, boomerang. Yeah, about 10 weapons in the game, like it says, and they all have different powers. A crossbow is ranged, a boomerang is ranged, but a broadsword and a giant axe, very slow but very powerful. Twin daggers, they're the secret weapon when you beat the game. Very high replay value because of the secret weapon. It just tears through enemies, max power and max speed, but you gotta beat the game to get it. And this is not an easy game, but nor is it hard. So, it's one of those games you gotta try and really enjoy. It's a great game. I couldn't say it any better. So, check it out. You can probably get it for $5 at the store. $5 or less. Try eBay, Amazon, whatever you gotta do. If you see it, though, pick it up. It's an excellent game. It was definitely unsung. You've probably never even heard of it, because it didn't really get the greatest marketing. It's a shame they never made a sequel to it. I would have loved it. But here it is, Eve of Extinction, and definitely an unsung video game, and one of my favorites. So we're going to get on to number 2, and that would be none other than Lords of Thunder. Yeah, Lords of Thunder, you remember this game. This is for Sega CD. Well, this is a Sega CD port, at least. I have a very legally attained burned copy of Lords of Thunder. It doesn't matter if you burn it anymore. It's been long out of print for probably 10 years, at least 10 years now. So, it's a great game, 2D side-scroller shooter, kind of like Gradius and similar games. And hey, what do you know? I have my iTunes on shuffle, and one of the Lords of Thunder songs just came on. One of the greatest soundtracks to any video game I've ever heard. Up there with Jet Moto, really. Jet Moto, Twisted Metal, Lords of Thunder, Spawn the Eternal, One Extreme, all excellent theme songs. But, soundtracks. But listen to the soundtrack. Really, where do you hear a game soundtrack this rocking anymore? This right here is the La Mirada stage track. Where do you hear something like that in a video game anymore. I mean, it's unheard of today. I mean, this is my music right here. I mean, this is what I can jam to when I'm playing a video game. When you're flying through a stage as the legendary knight Duran with the armored Drac, I mean, you need something like this. This is a rockin' soundtrack that fits a game with Viking themes perfect. I mean, there's just so much. There's like, I think there's about 21 different tracks to this game, and they're all excellent. I mean, there's not one bad song in the whole game. They're all rock, and they're all individual. They're very, very unique. And the gameplay, the controls, the graphics, stunning for the time. Stunning. This originally came out in the TurboGrafx CD in '93, I believe. Was re-released and ported to the Sega CD in '95. And we all know what happened to the Sega CD, which makes this game easily an unsung video game. TurboGrafx CD was barely available in the United States, and Sega CD sold terrible. So not many people ever actually played this game. If you haven't played this game, check it out on YouTube. Check it out on, you know, anywhere there's a freaking video. Probably YouTube is the best place to check. But check out the gameplay. There's 4 different armors you could have picked. It's just an excellent, excellent kind of game, and I couldn't recommend it any higher. So without any more explanation, this is Lords of Thunder for Sega CD. Definitely an unsung game, and I recommend you check it out. You know, you guys probably saw this one coming, but you know, just for the hell of it, I really could not leave this one out of the first part. One of my favorites. This was Legend of Dragoon, or The Legend of Dragoon. You don't need the "the," but The Legend of Dragoon for PlayStation. One of probably my all-time favorite PlayStation RPG of all time, or RPG for that in any matter. I think the only game that I prefer over this game for PlayStation is Jet Moto 1. Like I said, my top 10 PS2. PS1, I'm sorry. But this game has 4 incredibly long discs. This is no overnight game, guys. I mean, you need to sit down for a week and a half to play this game all the way through. Like I said in my PS1 review, where do you see discs this beautiful anymore? You don't. Look at the decoration. I mean, just top notch. Look at this. There's disc 2 right here, and the cool little strategy guide that pops right in to the side of the game right here. It covers up disc 3. Then we get to the back 2 discs, and I mean, there was no expense spared on this game. It was just excellent. It was a very late release for PS1 as well, 2000, near the end of the PS1 lifespan. But hey, this game is excellent. The graphics are not important in a game that's excellent. Everyone criticizes this game. Everyone says, "Oh, it's a terrible game. You know, you don't want to play that. Play Final Fantasy VII." Well, yeah, Final Fantasy VII is a great game, but people try to call this a Final Fantasy VII ripoff. No, it's very, very different. First of all, there was an addition system. The addition system, basically what it was, you would press X or circle, depending if it was a counterattack. At a certain time, a dialogue box, not a dialogue box, but an action box would pop up, and when that button would get to the middle, you'd press X to continue your attack. And sometimes you press X just once for the primary attack. It would be a 2-hit attack, like a double punch or a double slash. But as your additions get better, there'd be sometimes 6 or 7 presses towards the end of the game, with like Blazing Dynamo with Dart, which is his final addition, or Omni Sleep with Haskell, or Demon's Dance with Rose. They're all 7s. They're all 7 hits. And sometimes they're very difficult to pull off. Ratings for this game were all across the board, and I can't imagine why. But they were anywhere from 6.5 to 10, I remember. And a lot of them were low end. And this game was such an excellent game that it got ripped off. And everyone's like looking at reviews and like, I don't want to play that game, it looks terrible. But it is an excellent game. One of the deepest storylines I've ever played. Final Fantasy VII doesn't have anything on this, in my personal opinion. So guys, you know, check it out. You know, eBay, Craigslist. I'd even say download it. But Yeah, try it out. It's an excellent game. I recommend it all the way. Unsung video game, Legend of Dragoon, PlayStation. And with that, this wraps up part one, guys. I appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for part 2.